Hi, my name is Jessica Reddy. Though I was raised in a Christian home growing up, what I really remember from most of my childhood is pain. My parents were divorced when I was young. My father was an addict, and I was sexually abused from a family member for years. I had my first drink when I was 14, and I became pregnant at 15. My relationships were an endless cycle of abuse over and over. When my daughter reached the 5th grade, she went to live with her dad. That's when I got into heavier drugs. I experienced 3 big traumas in the span of 4 years. My grandma passed, and 6 months later, my sister died of cervical cancer at the age of 30. I was there with her every day until that day. Then my dad overdosed on meth in 2017 and passed away. Having that third goodbye to him absolutely broke me. I have very few memories from the 2 years that followed because I couldn't stop drinking, anything to take the pain away. I met my ex-husband in 2012. We married in 2015, and our son Owen was born that same year. He was physically and emotionally abusive throughout our entire relationship. He was also a functioning addict and the first person to introduce me to using meth. My ex-husband abandoned us 3 years ago, left for Thailand, and stopped payments on everything. He started a new life there with a new family and left us with a house in foreclosure. Shortly after that, I was officially pronounced dead on the bench in front of the Salvation Army. After being rushed to the hospital, the doctors were shocked when I came back to life. My son was taken from my custody in 2021, and I was a mess. I remember a friend inviting me to a meeting at the Alano Club, which is a recovery support group. Before I left, I was given a list of names to call if I ever needed someone to talk to. My health was failing. I have a heart condition that was brought on due to using an alcohol. I remember crawling to my front door because I couldn't stand. And one night I got scared. I really didn't want to die, considering I never fully lived. I kept thinking that I didn't want my son to be without a mother. That's when I remembered the list of names I was given by the Alano Club. I remember choosing a random number and a female voice picking up the phone. I told her I needed her to come and take me out of my house because I didn't want to die. When she got there, I asked her if she would pray with me, and she did. Even though she wasn't a believer herself, she took me to her house where I slept until she took me to the Alano Club meeting the next day. That day I went to a meeting and I haven't stopped since. The statistics of people successfully staying off meth are extremely low, but I've always said that I want to be on that next survey. At 1 week clean, someone mentioned this church called Southside and how wonderful it was. On July 30th, 2023, I made the decision to go. When I looked around the lobby and the auditorium, I recognized other people from the recovery community there too. The music hit me hard. I began to feel like a weight was lifting off my chest. Then Pastor Mike started preaching, and there was something about the way that he explained Jesus that made me feel like I was home. Since then, I've started sitting in the same seat every single Sunday. I've turned my life and my will over to Jesus and invited him into every area of my life. I got baptized at 2 months clean, and it was a really big deal for me to publicly declare that I was living my life for Jesus. After having no relationship with my mom for 7 years, she came to celebrate my baptism with me, along with my extended family. I watched as God began to rebuild my relationships. I felt like I could call myself a mother, sister, daughter, aunt, and grandma again, after losing myself for so long. I went through Southside's Welcome Home class, where I learned more about our faith and how to connect with God. Through that class, I was introduced to Pastor Mike's 7R journal and his wife Corinne's devotional called Wake Up, Walk On. Those 2 resources and the stories that they tell in them taught me how to trust in Jesus and put him first in my devotions every day. As of June 17th of this year, I am 1 year clean and sober. I'm free of the hold of alcohol and crystal meth. My cardiologist has been running more tests on me to see if there's a glitch in my results. Otherwise, he's classifying the turnaround in my heart health as a miracle that could only have come from God. On Mother's Day of this year, my son Owen was allowed to come to church with me. We got our photo taken together, and it was the best Mother's Day that I could ever have hoped for. My goal in my prayer was to get full custody of my son on the last day of school. On Wednesday, June 26th, I was granted full custody of Owen. just in time to go with him on his end-of-school field trip to the water slides. I'm in parenting classes and I'm registering him for every event here at church and every sports club that I can. I can't erase what has happened throughout his life, but I can start now to be the best mom I can be. As for my daughter, I'm praying for God to help heal our relationship and my relationship with my grandkids. Recently, I've reached out to our church as we don't have enough money right now, and I'm making a plan to go back to school in the fall so I can get the best job I can for us. Our help team here at Southside let me know that through the Sunshine Fund, I'll be able to buy food, clothes, and necessities for the months ahead. Knowing that we'll be taken care of, and I get to focus on connecting with my son without worrying about where our next meal is coming from, words can't express how much that means to me. I'm so happy to be alive, and I'm filled with joy I didn't know was possible. If Jesus could heal me, he can heal anyone, and I plan on sharing that for the rest of my life. Thank you, God, for my life, and thank you, Southside Church.